Okay, July 7th, 2025. Lots of people are looking forward to this date, right? You hear whispers about incredible luck, miracles, easy manifestation. It's kind of painted as this, divine energetic jackpot day.
Mhm.
But what if? What if the source material we've been looking at gives a completely different take, maybe even a challenging one? So today we're doing a deep dive into what's being called the 777 portal of July 7th, 2025. And the sources we have, well, they don't just talk about the good stuff. They offer a really unique, maybe even cautionary perspective on this day everyone's waiting for.
That's exactly right. And our mission here, I think, is to really look past maybe the surface level stuff, the usual manifestation talk. We need to explore the raw energy that's described in this specific alignment. It sounds pretty unpredictable. We want to uncover not just what people expect, but what this material is warning could actually happen if you're not really prepared for.
Well, for what it says are profound energetic shifts. Okay, yeah, let's jump right in there. Let's unpack this. So first off, how do we get this 777 thing for July 7th, 2025? Pretty straightforward, the numerology part. You've got the 7th day, then the 7th month, July, and the year, 2025. If you add up the digits, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, that also gives you 7. So boom, triple 7.
Right. And what's really crucial to grasp, according to this particular source, is that this portal isn't just some nice little gift for, manifesting easily. No, it's framed quite differently. It's described as a massive surge of raw spiritual energy. And the words used are like chaotic, magnetic, deeply unpredictable. The key warning seems to be that this kind of raw power, it can go both ways. So it could be challenging, even dangerous if you're not aware of what it really is. It's presented less like a genie in the sky granting wishes,
Yeah.
and much more like a cosmic mirror. It just reflects what's already inside you.
Okay, so that's a much more complex picture than just, hey, manifest your dream car today. Right. The source points out this common idea, like what everyone is blindly calling a day of luck and miracles.
Yeah.
But then it hits you with this really strong counter warning. This day might just turn out to be the biggest spiritual trap of the year. Wow. That definitely makes you stop and think.
It really does. And this perspective clarifies that the day itself doesn't generate anything new. It's not like it creates energy or chances out of nothing. What it does, according to this, is it simply magnifies what you're already putting out mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. It's described as being exact, like a copy machine for the soul. Whatever frequency you're broadcasting, consciously or not, gets turned way up.
And this is where it gets really interesting, maybe even a bit unnerving. The source material gives this core warning. It says the portal might actually reverse your manifestations if you're not careful. Oh, okay. Why would that happen?
Well, because, as this view explains it, the 777 portal isn't just reacting to your, let's say, your conscious vision boards or journal prompts. It's responding fundamentally to your underlying vibration. Even the parts you're maybe ignoring or haven't dealt with, the analogy used is powerful. It's a mirror, one that doesn't blink, one that doesn't care if your intentions sound pretty. It cares what they're truly made of, energetically, deep down.
So it's digging underneath the stuff we haven't looked at. The source gives some really clear examples. Trying to manifest love while holding on to deep resentment, right? Or chasing success because you're actually terrified of being left behind, that fear of being left behind.
Yeah.
That's what gets amplified. The portal, in this view, it reflects back the trauma, the envy, the hunger that might be lurking there.
Precisely. This viewpoint suggests the portal isn't asking, are you ready for your dream life? It's asking something tougher. Can you survive what it truly takes to hold it? The implication is that maybe a lot of people, instead of manifesting the future they say they want, might accidentally just recreate their past louder, faster, messier. Because the portal reveals what they genuinely believe they're worth or what they expect underneath all the conscious desires.
And this ties into what the source called the purifier effect of this 777 portal. It says, very bluntly, if it's fake, it won't survive the 777 portal. So this energy doesn't just amplify it, it sifts. It values truth over appearance. Anything not genuinely rooted in integrity is said to crack, collapse, or vanish. That could be things like fake confidence, just putting on a brave face, or forced positivity, spiritual bypassing, empty relationships, maybe identities that are just surface level. Anything done just to look aligned instead of actually being it.
And the consequences of that realignment, as described, yeah, they can sound pretty intense. This perspective mentions potential sudden breakups, emotional breakdowns, or even the deep, terrifying realization that their life isn't actually theirs. But the source is clear. This isn't framed as a punishment. It's more like energetic alignment correcting itself. It forces the truth to the surface whether you're ready or not. It's about clearing things out to make space for what's authentic.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Another surprising point the sources raise.
Yeah.
Manifestation isn't just personal. It's not this, isolated thing happening just inside your head. Energy, it suggests, is communal. Frequencies get shared.
Yes, and this is where the risk of frequency override comes in. That's the term used. If you don't actively anchor your field, your own energetic space, the energy of other people, even people you love, it says, can kind of inadvertently override yours. This could mean, according to this view, that someone else's unacknowledged fear could become your reality. You might find yourself losing steam, losing momentum without realizing it, just because your frequency got tangled up.
Wow, that's subtle but potentially huge. And the material gives examples of how this might show up, like in small ways. Feeling exhausted after a conversation, maybe? Or losing your train of thought when you're talking about something exciting?
Mm-hmm.
Or even suddenly doubting your own intuition minutes after feeling certain. These are flagged as possible signs of that frequency override.
Exactly. And this is why, from this perspective, setting energetic boundaries on July 7th isn't just a nice idea, it's described as spiritual survival. Now, this doesn't mean cutting everyone off. It means being extremely intentional about who you speak to, what you consume, what conversations you entertain. The underlying message is really stark. If you don't command your energy, someone else will channel it for you.
So leading up to this portal, and especially on the day, the material really pushes you to ask, whose energy am I carrying right now?
And maybe more importantly, is it helping me shape the life I want, or is it hijacking it from me completely? This section wraps up with a really powerful line from the source, because on the 7th of July, there are only two types of people, those who manifest and those who get manifested through. Ugh. All right, let's talk about language. The power of words. The sources really stress this. Words are spells. And specifically for 777, it says every syllable echoes louder than usual. It makes the point that energy listens, but then adds this caution, not everything that's listening has your best interests at heart.
Yeah, and that leads to one specific word the material flags as potentially dangerous on this day, and that word is hope. I hope, the reason given. On this day, hope is spiritual hesitation.
Yeah.
The portal, as it's described, it amplifies. It doesn't respond to maybe. It doesn't answer to almost. So if you're sending out uncertainty, that's what gets magnified. That's what you attract back. So using I hope is like unconsciously sending a signal of doubt. You're kind of telling the universe, well, I'm not totally sure about this. Not sure I deserve it. Not sure I'm ready. Maybe I don't even really believe it's possible. And the outcome, according to this view, is attracting confusion, delay, and friction. Basically, you get back the uncertainty you put out.
Exactly. The recommended contrast is using language that embodies certainty. Things like, I know, this is mine, this is who I am now. It's not about being arrogant, it says, but about embodying clarity and embodiment. That's the frequency the portal supposedly responds to. The advice is, you don't have to force it, but you do have to own it. Feel that certainty.
And if your signal, your energetic broadcast, isn't clearly tuned, if it's fuzzy with hope instead of clear with knowing, then you're likely to pick up all sorts of interference. Static, the source calls it. Mixed messages, outcomes that seem okay but feel wrong. It really hammers home that idea of clarity being absolutely key, according to this perspective on the 777 portal. Okay, let's talk about something you might be feeling right now, maybe in the days leading up to July 7th. The material mentions things like feeling mentally foggy, physically drained, or like your body is somehow both wired and weak at the same time. Does that sound familiar to anyone? So what does this perspective say these feelings actually mean? Are they just stress?
Well, this material suggests it's potentially more than just burnout. It frames these sensations as signs your system is being hit with more than just energy, it's being overloaded with information. The way this viewpoint describes it, the 777 alignment acts like a high-frequency gate, opening up, increasing the bandwidth. And this sudden influx can cause your body, your mind, your spirit even, it mentions technology, to kind of scramble as they try to cope with this rush of new data. The source calls this spiritual compression or energetic overstimulation.
Right, and it lists some specific ways this compression might show up, like shallow sleep that feels like you ran a marathon, or sudden dizziness, or maybe getting these amazing bursts of inspiration followed by just total blankness. It suggests your system is trying to process energies it's not quite calibrated for yet, leading to these disorienting kind of effects.
Yeah, it's often framed as a kind of silent battle between light and noise. The incoming energy is meant for clarity, for healing, But the existing static, the noise within us or around us, can fight back hard. So the emphasis in the source material is on the need to decode it. Don't just numb it or run away from it. It encourages asking some tough questions.
Hmm.
What's really behind the nausea? What thought just triggered that sudden energy drop? What part of my day feels unusually disjointed or intense? The idea is every symptom is a signal trying to tell you something important.
Now, the aftermath.
Yeah.
Most people probably think, okay, July 7th happens, then the 8th rolls around, it's over, back to normal, right? Check social media, move on. But this source material says very firmly, this portal doesn't end when the clock strikes midnight. It ends when you shift.
That's a really critical point in this perspective. It sees the portal less as a fixed time window and more as a mirror that seals whatever you showed it. So what you thought, what you said, what you felt on July 7th, according to this view, it doesn't just vanish, it echoes long after the day ends. It leaves a kind of energetic imprint.
And the experiences after the portal, as described here, are said to really diverge. Depending on what you mirrored on the 7th, for some, life might suddenly feel charmed. Synchronicities lining up, maybe old opportunities circling back unexpectedly. People start seeing you with new eyes. This is presented as your alignment finally locking in. But for others, it might feel different, like a weight, a discomfort, a sense of something unresolved, almost like you missed a train you were supposed to catch. And this feeling, the source explains, is a reflection if noise, doubt, or other people's energy lead the way for you on the 7th.
Yeah, and the material warns that the real consequences don't hit instantly. They don't just appear on July 8th. Instead, they unfold like echoes louder each time they're ignored.
Yeah.
Which suggests that in the weeks, maybe months following July 7th, distinct patterns will start showing up in your life. And these patterns will directly mirror the clarity or the indecision that you projected on that particular day. Clarity attracts clarity. Vagueness attracts more confusion, essentially.
So even if you consciously decided to ignore the whole 777 thing, this protectant says, well, it didn't ignore you. Your energy still communicated something. Your underlying patterns still made choices. Your subconscious was still manifesting. The energetic field, it suggests, recorded it all.
Exactly. Ultimately, July 7th is painted here as a kind of frequency checkpoint. It's stark. You either lock in or you loop again. The energetic mark you make during that time is presented as having real staying power within this framework.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive, the big takeaway from this material seems to be that July 7th, 2025 isn't just another date. It's presented as this really potent, energetic moment that demands, well, presence, authenticity. The core message isn't just about what you wish for, but about what you are, what you truly embody deep down.
Yeah. And maybe here's a final thought, something provocative for you to chew on, based directly on this source. It draws such a sharp line between hoping for something and knowing it's yours. It explicitly calls hope spiritual hesitation on that day. So consider this. How might really shifting your internal state from just hoping to truly knowing, embodying that certainty, how might that change not just one day, but your everyday reality, your daily interactions? What if every single moment is, in its own way, a mini manifestation checkpoint, just waiting for you to fully claim and embody your truth? Something to think about.